Good morning everyone, and a happy Monday to you all. Today's video is going to be about how to apply to college. So we're going to be talking about a couple different things. So first we're going to be talking about the different types of applications and knowing what these deadlines are so you know when you're supposed to be applying to a college. After talking about the different types of applications, we're going to be talking about the different ways that you can apply to the colleges that you're interested in. Alright, so let's talk about the different types of applications. So as you may or may not be aware, there are a lot of colleges in Pennsylvania. As you can see from this lovely map behind me here, there are several hundred different colleges. Pennsylvania colleges! And the thing to keep in mind with all these different types of colleges is that they might have a different type of application that you're going to have to do. So there are 5 main types of applications that you might encounter during your college application process. There's early decision, early action, regular decision, rolling admissions, and open admission. And I'll explain the differences between the 5 types of applications shortly. The 2 application styles that you might encounter most frequently at some of your private colleges are going to be early action and early decision. The differences between these two are that early action means that your application gets reviewed earlier, but you don't have to make a decision until your May 1st deadline. Early decision is binding, and that means that if you apply and are accepted to the school, that you have to go to that school and you have to withdraw any applications you have out at any other colleges. So early action, not binding. Early decision, binding. Early action and early decision tend to be some of your earlier deadlines. So you might see these in the late fall in November or even in December or January. Now there might be 1 or 2 rounds of early decision or early action. There's not any difference between these two, just different deadlines. So if you're a fall athlete, you might play soccer or football. This gives you a little bit extra time once the season's done. If you want to do an early action or early decision application, you can still get that in at the end of your season. Regular decision is going to be an application that's going to be due typically in the spring at some point, usually kind of around March. And the regular decision just means that you're not necessarily committing straight away to that school like you have with early decision, but it means that you'll have until that May 1st deadline to say which school that you want to go to out of the ones that you've applied to. A school that has rolling admissions, such as all of the state schools in Pennsylvania, means that as your application and all the materials are sent to the school and they have received all of these materials, your application will be reviewed. Oftentimes in as little as a month, you'll know if you've been accepted to that college or not. Open admission is what you might see at some of your community colleges. And this means that there isn't necessarily a specified deadline, nor is there any sort of major requirement to get into this. Typically, if you apply, you'll be able to be accepted into that school unless there's some sort of extenuating circumstance. So again, those are your 5 types of applications: early action, early decision, regular decision, rolling admission, and open admissions. As I mentioned previously, these different types of applications will have different deadlines associated with them. It will obviously depend on the colleges that you've applied to as to what their deadlines are going to be, so be sure that you do check out each college's website that you're interested in and find out when their application deadlines are. These deadlines are not something to be played around with. If you don't get your paperwork in on time, they're not going to review your application. You need to make sure that all of your paperwork is at your college at the time that it needs to be. Otherwise you'll have big problems. In terms of the timeline of your senior year and when you should be applying to colleges, I typically encourage that you get the bulk of your applications done at or around Thanksgiving time. Don't necessarily take time away from your family, on Thanksgiving to go do your applications. But, use that time that you might have for a break or just the general time frame of that area to try and get those applications submitted. This is especially important if you are looking to get into a program such as a nursing or engineering school where there might be only a limited number of seats available for those majors. If you apply earlier on in the fall or early winter, you'll have a better chance of getting accepted into that program because there'll still be seats available. The later you wait in the year to apply to those programs, the less spots there'll be available, and you might not get accepted into the program you want to. So if you're really dead set on a program, especially for nursing or engineering or anything with limited available seats, the earlier you apply, the better a chance you have. Alright, now it's time for part 2, how to apply for college. So first of all, probably the simplest and easiest way for you to apply to any college is to go to that college's website. So somewhere on that college's homepage there's going to be a button that'll say apply now or click here to apply. And if you click on that button, it'll take you to a page which will describe the steps to apply to that college. And for you, you'll want to click on the undergraduate freshman application. You don't want to do a graduate school application, especially since you haven't gone to college yet. So you have to get your undergraduate degree before you get your graduate degree. if clicking on this link doesn't take you directly to the How to Apply page, it might take you to another page such as the Common App. Now, the Common Application is going to be our second point of talking about here about your applications. The Common Application is an application put together by a huge group of schools. In Pennsylvania alone, there are 55 different schools that are part of the Common Application. And what this means is that you can go onto the Common Application, fill out one big form, and then say, I want my application to go to this school, and this school, and this school, and this school. So instead of having to apply to each of those individual schools one at a time, you can send one application out to all of these schools just nice and simply in one application. It makes it a lot easier for you and more streamlined so that we don't have to keep filling out applications and putting in the same information. Check out the link below to see if the colleges you are interested in are part of the Common Application, and if they are, feel free to go on and make yourself an account, and then you can start applying today to those colleges. A website that's similar to the Common Application is built to work around the Pennsylvania state schools. So these would include Shippensburg, Lock Haven, Bloomsburg, Edinburgh, Slippery Rock, etc. All of the state schools are going to be on this website. And basically what it does is if you apply to one of these state schools through this website, it'll pre-fill another application for you. So that way if you wanted to, say, apply to both Millersville and Shippensburg, you could click on your Millersville application, submit that, go into your Shippensburg application, and it would already be mostly filled out for you. So that way you don't have to keep inputting the same information over and over again. So it's a really easy way for you to apply to a couple different state schools all at one time. Obviously you don't want to apply to all 14 state schools at once. That might be a little bit of overkill, so try not to apply to every single one of them. Lastly, there is always the option of doing a paper application for the colleges you're interested in. So if you'd rather do an application through a hard copy, get in touch with your college's admissions representative and see if they can get one sent in the mail to you. An important thing to remember when you are doing these applications is that if you used a fee waiver to complete your SAT registration, that means that the College Board is going to give you 4 fee waivers that you can use for your college applications. So if you're applying to a school that has an application fee and you have those fee waivers available to you, use them. There's no reason not to. And if you're not sure if you qualify for a fee waiver, go and talk to your guidance counselor or college advisor, and they will help you figure out if you are eligible to receive a fee waiver for your college applications. And for those of you that are already in college and are watching this video, down in the comments below, why don't you talk about your experiences applying to college so we can learn from that and help utilize it to make it easier for all of these new seniors to complete their applications. And if you have any questions about how to apply to college, get in touch with me through Facebook, Twitter, email, phone, carrier pigeon, owl, whatever makes the most sense to you. Just get in touch with me and I'll be happy to help you out with your applications. Alright everyone, I'll see you next week.